How's it going, everyone? Bobblehead here, and today we're playing a bit of an overlooked title, the 2008 reboot of Turok. I remember this game coming out way back in 2008, and it was kind of just written off as basically just a generic shooter with dinosaurs in it. And to a certain extent, I do agree with that, but I definitely do think it's worth checking out, and I'm really excited to show you guys my playthrough, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So we're gonna be playing on the Inhumane difficulty, and yeah, it's Inhumane. It's definitely a challenge. I do die a few times throughout this playthrough. I do edit out the deaths just to kind of keep things flowing along, but I'll try to point out them when they do occur, though.
Okay, rookie. Time to get your feet wet. Remember, there are no innocents here. No prisoners, no witnesses.
Oh man, I think I slept on. I'm tired. This packing's bad. That's all I dreamed about. Hey, check it out.
Hey, who's he?
Hella fun.
Somebody get a bucket and mop. We got a new cleaner on board. Hey, who's the new guy? I like his hair.
Hey, your name's Turok, right? I know all about you.
Officer on deck! All right, ladies. We've only got 30 minutes till we touch down, so I'm only gonna say this once. Our target is Roland Kane, leader of the legendary Wolf Pack. 3 years ago, Kane went AWOL. No one's seen or heard from him since. We've tracked him down to the colony on the planet below. Now, what they're doing there is not our concern. Our mission is simple. Find Kane and bring him back to Earth, period. All right. Now I want you to meet Turok.
Turok?
Turok's here to help us track Kane down. He's a former member of Wolfpack.
Yeah, before he screwed him over.
Blade, can it?
He can't be trusted.
All right, meeting's over. Let's get ready to roll.
Let's get down there, huh? Turok. Do with me.
Class dismissed.
Follow me to the armory.
I kind of wish this part was just a little bit longer. I think it would have been cool to meet more of the crew and explore a little bit more of the ship. But either way, it gets the job done, though.
Cole wants me to walk you through some of the gear we'll be using once we get planetside. Ever used one of these?
Once or twice.
All hands, brace for impact. Incoming missile, brace for impact.
Gentlemen, welcome. I know you thought you were being transferred to another military prison, but there's been a change of plans. You are now under my command. The Army sees you as a bunch of violent reprobates with no future. But I see men who, with the right guidance, could become the best fighting machines the military's ever produced. And that is exactly what I need for Wolfpack.
And what are we, your dogs?
You, step forward. You're Native American, aren't you?
You're a genius.
You're either Cherokee or Kiowa. I'm guessing Kiowa.
And you're lucky I'm in these cuffs, old man. Get up! Get up!
Wake up! We gotta go! Come on!
Follow me, I'll get us out of here.
Well, he didn't last very long. This was pretty common for games of the time, is basically to have an opening level where you have to try to escape the area before you're engulfed in flames.
The route's blocked. Down here's our only option. Follow me. You should be able to get out over here. Come on.
Right off the bat, pretty much half your company gets wiped out.
Hey! Some help over here. It's gone. Nothing we can do.
Step aside.
Yeah!
Keep going.
Opening the doors on here I always thought looked cool.
Go, go, go.
You okay?
I'll live.
Come on, let's go look for the rest of the ship. Maybe some of the others are still alive. We've got to work together from now on. Stick with me and we'll make it through this.
This right here is, I think, what separates Turok from kind of like your other typical shooters is this lush jungle environment. I love the setting of this game. I love the environments it has. This and obviously the dinosaurs. That adds a whole new dimension that you typically didn't really see in shooters of the time.
What is this place? There, see that smoke? I bet that's where the rest of the ship came down. That's where we want to go. Whiskey Company, come in. Anyone out there? Damn it. Still no answer. Whiskey Company, come in. Whiskey Company. Cole. Lewis. Logan. Anybody out there? Hey, I think I got something.
And here you thought he was going to be kind of like your main AI companion, but then all of a sudden he gets taken out almost immediately after crash landing. His body's actually going to be just right up here. This is actually where we, yeah, see, there it is right there. This is actually where we get our first weapon, and we actually run into our first enemy, the mini raptor. The cinematic kills on here are awesome. Yeah, we'll let you go home to your mommy. I remember seeing a lot of these knife kills for the first time and just thinking they were the coolest thing ever. It really is a shame that the sequel got canceled. I was really wondering how they were gonna kind of like one-up those cinematic kills because they were already so epic.
Oh, it's you. I'm guessing they're Kane's men, coming to make sure we're all dead. Surprise!
Let's go get these guys.
So up here is where we encounter our first human enemies, and they're not exactly the smartest. They either kind of just run right at you, or they just sit out in the open, kind of like what they're doing, shooting at you. So basically, take advantage of it, sit behind cover, and kind of just mow them down.
I'm gonna sit in the open like Dum Dum.
not to get on your bad side, Turok. Try not to get too far apart.
What's cool about this game is pretty much all the smaller weapons, like the SMGs and handguns, and even the shotgun, actually, you can dual wield, and it's surprisingly effective. Usually it's like really inaccurate in other games, but in this one it's actually useful. Coming up here, we actually get to meet basically the main antagonist of the game, Mama Scarface. She's pretty much a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex. She should be coming out of the woods here pretty quickly. I think I kill a few more of these guys, and pretty much off to the left she'll pop out. Yeah, there she is. She'll basically handle these enemies for us. Originally, when this sequence was over, she was supposed to come after you and be a little bit more free roaming, but they decided to cut it from the final product, though. Either way, it's still a grand entrance.
I can't believe what I just saw. Don't think this changes anything. We may be stuck together, but that doesn't mean I have to like it. We have to find the main crash site.
So in this chapter, this is when we first encounter the Utah Raptor, kind of like the main dinosaur enemy. It's a little bit smaller than its real-life counterpart. I think the real-life counterpart was over 20 feet long, actually. It was huge, I know that. On here, they're more the size of kind of like the velociraptors you would see in Jurassic Park, even sporting the JP3 appearance, where they have those three feathers on top of their head. At this part, we're just basically fighting a bunch of mini raptors. When I first played this, I thought they were Trodons because of the size of their eyes, but yeah, no, they're mini raptors. They're definitely annoying. They squirm around pretty quick. They're pretty squishy, though. You can usually kill them in just a few shots, but they're definitely annoying because of how quick they move and they jump you a lot.
Enough of this. Regroup at that giant skull. I could have taken you out and no one would have known. They'd have chalked it up to friendly fire. Nah, scratch that. You're no friend. You're a goddamn traitor.
If I was a traitor, you'd already be dead.
If you're not a traitor, then why'd you abandon your unit in Colombia?
You weren't there. You wouldn't understand.
My brother was there. Yeah, that's right. Robert Slade. Ring a bell? He died on that mission. Not like you. You turned and ran.
Your beef should be with Kane. He's the reason your brother's dead.
My beef is with both of you.
Get off me! The Utah Raptors, when you're fighting them one at a time, they're usually not too bad. It's when they start ganging up on you is when the real problem comes. That's where a lot of my deaths for this walkthrough comes from. In the canceled sequel, it was actually pretty cool because you can see concept art for, they were going to have different types of Utah Raptors, actually. There was going to be, like, the jungle, the desert, and the swamp ones, and each of them looked pretty unique. Whether or not they had different kind of like attack patterns or like different kind of powers and things like that. I'm not 100% sure, but either way, it looked really cool. Like the jungle one, it was kind of like feathery, more like to its real life counterpart. The desert one looked more like scaly and spiky, and then the swamp one, I thought that one looked the most unique. It kind of almost looks like a cross between like a fish and a raptor. It had kind of like fins on it. Definitely another reason to be disappointed that that sequel didn't come out. Well, those little brown dinosaurs, they don't attack you unless provoked, the Echidons, so as long as you leave them alone, you should be fine. Right here's another example of their passive behavior. There's actually a few cut dinosaurs that I thought would have been really cool to see in the game. The Stegosaurus and Triceratops, just to name a few. The Dimetrodon, that's another cut one. I think it would have been cool to see those in here because the dinosaur variety on here feels a little bit slim. Not terrible, but I mean, it feels a little bit slim. No, adding a few more, I feel like it would have fleshed out the world more. The Jungle Hunter, that's another cut piece of content that would have been interesting to see in this game. It was basically an genetically engineered humanoid creature, and it had regenerative abilities, I guess, and the only way to efficiently neutralize it was through flames. Bullets would slow it down, but the only way to actually kill it, though, I guess, was through flames. Definitely would have been an interesting, real interesting enemy to see. Had I let that play out naturally, the Utah Raptor would have fought the mini Raptors.
Stay down. I don't want them to see us.
That bridge is the only way across the valley. And that means we have to go through that base.
Let's keep moving then. Kane's guys have got some payback coming their way.
Coming up, this is where my first death actually occurred. It wasn't because it's necessarily a difficult part, it's just because I got hasty and I tried moving on to the next section before I cleared out all the enemies in. Needless to say, it came back to haunt me. I did edit it out though, so luckily the second attempt went a lot better. Not clearing that guy out the first time is actually what got me, because right here, as you can, I just kind of booked it for it, and basically a raptor jumped me. And while I was in the animation of fighting it off, that guy was able to gun me down. So always make sure you clear out all the enemies.
This bow is for you. It represents your passage to the next level of training.
Is this a joke?
Far from it. It's a pity that you're so ashamed of your heritage, Turok. Because it so happens that some of the most feared warriors of all time were the Kiowa Indian tribe, your ancestors. And the bow was their weapon of choice. Here we go. Stay low to the grass so I can't see you.
That'd be a great weapon. If we were fighting General Custer.
Games before this one obviously used the bow and arrow, but this was the first one I remember of its generation that actually implemented it. You had games later on like Far Cry 3, Crysis 3, and like The Last of Us that used the bow and arrow too, and it makes you wonder if they kind of got inspiration from this game to use it. I always thought it was cool that if you pulled it back hard enough, you could actually pin people to the wall with it because the arrow would hit them so hard. another showcase to show how good the dual wielding is in this game. So what I did there is I had to switch to my knife to keep myself from shooting the arrow, because in this game you can't cancel shooting the arrow. You have to switch to another weapon in order to do it. It's a bit of a pain, but you get used to it after a while though. Come out and play. Coming up here, what I'll do is I'll kind of hide behind a rock and poke my head out, and I'll pick the enemies off one at a time, basically. That's the best strategy I've found for this part.
Yeah, we'll just run at you one at a time. I think that's the best thing to do.
As I mentioned before, the enemies aren't exactly the smartest. They'll kind of just more or less keep running into the beat grinder. The only time they're ever actually really dangerous is if they all kind of just gang up on you and then just bum rush you. Then they can actually do some damage and take you out. But other than that, they're pretty easy to take down, though. This section coming up here, I would say, is probably the first section of the game where stealth can basically be played throughout the entire segment. Leading up to this, if you got any stealthy kills, usually you'd get like one or two guys, and then the others would kind of see you. Whereas this is the first one where you could actually kind of pick off every enemy in the area before they'd actually catch you.
Wait for me, guys. Oh.
If there is one thing I wish the game would have done more of, it would have been kind of more stealth sections like that, because they are few and far between, and honestly, there's only like a handful that I can think of off the top of my head where stealth actually plays a role. Other than that, it's pretty much like straight up guns blazing, which really is a shame. So this section up here is also a stealth segment too, but after this one, it's a while before we actually get another one. But this one's pretty cool because you can climb on a pipe and basically pick off all the enemies, which I do here. So the last guy there saw me, but ultimately they were all gone by then, so it didn't really matter.
We'll cover more ground if we split up. Stay in radio contact.
I'll do what I want. So this section here, you have to really be on your toes because there's a lot of angles you can get hit from, especially going up the stairs. This is where the game takes a break from the jungle setting and goes into the more scientific, industrial setting. So right there, I thought the guy was alive for just a moment. So I was getting my bow ready, but then I realized, yeah, he was no longer with us. So it just shows you what the bow can do in this game. As soon as you get up to the second level, make sure you try to find cover ASAP because basically every gun's going to be on you. There, I would say I got lucky. Usually when I was play testing, usually I was getting shot at a lot. So, like I said, just try to find cover ASAP because 9 out of 10 times you're going to be getting shot at. Here's a better example. So right here, I'm basically shifting to the right to see if I can catch them on the side. Nope. As you can tell, the bow is pretty much useless when you're getting shot at because it wobbles around so much.
Tripping over these guys. This planet's being terraformed. No wonder it's so screwed up. Exponential increase in evolutionary activity.
Hey, Turok, maybe you'll grow some balls while you're here.
So that terraforming subplot, this is like the only time it's ever touched on, and then you just like never hear about it again. A neat little Easter egg here is you actually get to see Kane's second in command, Grimes. He'll officially get introduced later on in some flashbacks. I usually don't bother with the handguns. I really don't think they're that good. They have some decent power, but they're just tough to aim with, and I find myself missing a lot. Nice little ambush there. So this next part, if you take the bottom catwalk, it's actually pretty easy to avoid most of the combat. Make sure you take out the first guy, and then there's 2 more guys down here, and if you take them both out, you can basically just sneak right across. That guy I just ignore. He usually doesn't shoot at you, so... And then there's a ladder right over here I take up. And then there's a few enemies I have to blast through up here, but that's about it. So other than that, we basically just avoided that whole section. So right here, there's going to be a few enemies that come out of the right, and then there's one off to the left, too. Right now, only one pops out. The other's still in that hangar, but yeah, there's one off to the left. Those guys I didn't kill earlier kind of coming back to haunt me, but that's alright, though.
We want to play too.
So this last guy in the hangar, he like disappears and reappears. It's really weird. Like you'll see here in just a moment. Like I go back and look behind these boxes and I don't see him, and then all of a sudden he just appears right in front of the hangar. Apparently he's a ninja.
Hey, Turok, I think I found a way out. Some kind of elevator room.
Yeah, and now the whole base knows where you are, too.
Stick your ass over here so we can get out of here.
These next three guys, it's easy to just get the drop on them if you take that upper ladder. And now we meet back up with Slade.
Can't hide forever. Where'd you go?
I stopped to take a nap.
Coming up, we actually have a pretty difficult part. I died a few times while trying to record this.
Now how to get this thing to work? Ah, screw it.
That's exactly like when I have to start my computer up. The reason this is such a difficult section, I would say, is because there's just so much kind of randomness that happens. It all depends on where the soldiers are at. Usually they spawn in the same areas, but just how they move around and stuff, it's different like every time. It depends a lot too if Slade actually helps you. Sometimes he kind of just sits back and does nothing. Other times he does a really good job. But yeah, don't be surprised if you die quite a bit at this part because it is challenging. Another thing that makes it challenging is that there's 3 levels, and each one is a little bit different than the last one. All the patterns are different, so you can get hit from anywhere. The spots that I stand on, they're usually the safest spots, but like I said, due to kind of like the RNG of this game, any spot can be a bad spot, but this one consistently I notice is the best one. The thing about this section too is there's 3 levels to it, and if you die, you have to start from the very first one. It's such a BS part. I do not like this part.
Turok, get those doors open while I secure the platform.
I wanted to take the stairs. What we have to do here is we have to go shoot a junction box to get the elevator rolling again. Going up to this second level catwalk, you have to be really careful because it's really open and it's easy to get hit from all sides. And this is quicker. So now we're on the last section of this part. Once you get into that clear, you're just like, yes! The first time I was trying to record this, I actually almost made it. I was just about to the top, but then the guy gunned me down from the side. I was so mad. I remember at work when the elevator broke and it went down, and right before it hit the bottom, I jumped to break the impact, and it actually worked.
Come on. We've still got a long road ahead.
And that's that. On to Death Valley. And this is where we first get to see the Giganotosaurus, actually. When I first played it, I thought it was the T-Rex that's been chasing us around, but no, it's a completely different one. You can tell when you get close. Originally, the Giganotosaurus was actually supposed to be kind of like the big baddie of the game, but I think they switched it out, probably just to kind of keep tradition going. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go through this log just to confuse the Giganotosaurus, and I'm going to go a little bit further, and what that does is that spawns the raptors. That way it keeps them off the other side of the map. That way we can slip through this just a little bit easier. A dead Dilophosaurus. The Giganotosaurus in this game actually went through a few different designs. The first one's probably my favorite.
Get your ass over here.
So this next part isn't too bad since we spawned the raptors on the other side. If we didn't do that, we'd actually have to fight off a whole horde of them right here. But since we spawned them on the other side, though, we should be good. You might have to fight off one or two. I think I fight off a few here, but that's about it, though. And that completes that. Once you figure out the pattern, it's really not that difficult.
Come on, let's find a way out of here.
So this is actually the demo for this game that came out way back when this game was releasing.
What was that? Bones. That ain't
starting to feel ancient. Anyone else feeling that?
Through here already. It's dark. I don't know. This place is starting to get me spooked. Only thing I hate more than being underground is when I'm underground and it's dark. What the hell was that? Hey, I'll take that. It's got a flare launcher. Should come in handy.
This part, it's pretty easy to die almost immediately. So as soon as you can start moving, make sure you back up, because otherwise you'll get surrounded by the raptors and they will kill you.
So much for our pleasant stroll.
If you really wanted to chance it and basically do YOLO, you could actually just take your knife out and maybe try to sprint through this part. I've done it once or twice, but it's really inconsistent though.
Keep moving.
It's just a scratch.
I'll try to find you on the other side. If I don't hear from you by sundown, I'm moving on.
So this part coming up here, I actually died my first attempt, and that's probably that mistake right there, is taking the shotgun. But I like the shotgun, even though it's not that good. It's just fun to use. The dual SMGs are honestly a lot better for taking out the raptors. The reason the shotgun I don't think is really that good on here is because it's honestly really underpowered, and it feels like it's pretty easy to miss too. Like, you have to be dead on target, otherwise it won't work, and the enemies have to be super close in order for it to work. There's almost no range to it. But again, though, it's fun to use. I like using the flare on it. Freedom!
Slade, come in. I'm outside.
Good for you. Keep following the smoke if you want to catch up.
Coming up here, we actually run into our first Dilophosaurus. Well, actually, the first Dilophosaurus, I should say, that's alive. But, yeah, and it makes a pretty grand entrance.
Hang tight.
They're actually, as far as gameplay-wise, they're actually not that hard to deal with. Typically, they work alone, so you don't really have to worry about getting overwhelmed or anything, and they only take a little bit more damage than the Velociraptors. Now, if they spit acid, that would be a different story, but luckily this isn't Jurassic Park. Here I just kind of book it for the vines.
Shoot the bastard. My man Reese. God damn, am I glad to see you.
Hey, Slade. How's it going?
Really, really shitty. This planet sucks.
I hear that.
Hey, Reese. You headed for the smoke there? Wait up, Reese.
Ron Perlman as Slade, I think it fits so well. He just has so many funny one-liners.
Somebody came through here.
This is also back way before having big-name actors in video games was a commonplace like you see today.
I'll take care of this.
Looking forward to stabbing people in the back, just like Kane taught you.
Turok, this is John Grimes. He's going to help you with the next stage of your training.
How you doing, rookie?
That's the guy we
Black
saw
Bear
earlier.
Indians believe that the knife possessed the power of a sly yet ferocious animal. Now you try. This is the most effective and dependable means of killing your enemy. It kills quietly and instantly, preventing your enemy from raising the alarm. Now, try it on me. Do it. You'll never be that good. Congratulations, Turok. You're now a member of Wolfpack.
If memory serves me correctly, I think this is actually like the last true stealth segment of the game. But it's pretty easy to cheese. Basically, you can just kind of run past everybody. The next part coming up here is it's fairly mandatory to do a guns blazing approach. It's really tough to slip past the enemies.
Time for some action.
Sounds like the Raptors found a new chew toy. Eat slugs! It looks more like buckshot, actually. This is where we actually run into a new class of the MG soldiers called the Elites, and they're basically like like the others, except they just have more health and they carry the pulse rifle. As you can tell, I'm being shot at by one right now, but yeah, no, they behave almost identical. They just have more health. The pulse rifle is arguably the best weapon in the game, too. It has a grenade launcher on it, making it super versatile and super useful. It's got some pretty decent damage, too. Pretty much the first chance I get, I pick it up. You got Reese there covering you from the top. Sometimes he does so. Sometimes he actually puts hurting to the enemies. Like I said, the shotgun, it's fun to use, but it's really underwhelming in terms of power, though. All right. Pulse rifle showing us why it's the best weapon in the game. It's got good damage output, like I said, and then also the built-in grenade launcher. Just a really well-rounded weapon in general.
Try not to kill each other while I'm gone.
Oh, we'll get along just fine.
Fun fact about Reese on here is that he's actually voiced by Gideon Emery, who's a pretty famous British actor. Coming up this next part, we actually run into the lurkers, and they're arguably the most annoying enemies in the game. I do not like going against them.
What is it?
We're being watched.
Boom! Headshot. The lurkers love doing a lot of hit and run. That's what makes them so annoying to fight, is because they move so fast, too. They love to run out of the grass. They love to hide up in the trees, too. I actually get pounced here in a sec, I believe. Yep, see right there. I do like the signature knife kills on them. Hopefully I get one here pretty quick. I thought I was going to get one there, but it didn't end up happening. Nope, looks like I don't get one there either. Like I said, super hard to hit. They just squirm around so much. That works. If you can see them in their hiding spot, like I see right here, a lot of times you can get them before they even have a chance to get you. If you get them in the head, you can one-shot them, but I shot him in the tail that time, and then I shot him in the head. But yeah, sometimes you can get the drop on them. I actually do that later on. Got a little lost there. Yeah, don't be surprised if you waste a lot of bullets trying to kill these things. That wasn't very nice. So a question for all you guys, because I'm actually curious. What's your favorite dinosaur in real life? If I had to choose mine, I think I'd either go with the Suchomimus or the Baryonyx. I really love the crocodilian-like dinosaurs. If I had to pick my favorite herbivore, though, I think I'd have to go with the Therizinosaurus. I love the odd dinosaurs, too. I remember when I was a little kid and they actually thought it was a carnivore because of its claws that it had. In Dino Crisis, it's actually depicted as a carnivore, but as time went along, though, they actually found that those claws were pretty much for defense and to help it reach higher branches. Up here, we're actually going to meet up with the rest of Whiskey Company. And I just want to take this time to ask you guys, if there's anything you feel I need to work on in my videos, just please let me know. Constructive criticism is always allowed.
Shit, look what the cat rag did. You found it, so.
Hey guys.
It's good to see you guys. Hey, Slade, look what I found.
Now we're talking.
Yo, have you seen the dinosaurs, man?
Hell yeah, I've been blasting lizards all morning. But now I can bark. What the hell's with all the troops? Kane's got a goddamn army down here.
Yeah, we fought off one of their patrols a few hours ago. They'll be back.
The problem is we're seriously low on ammo and half our guys are MIA. Let's get this place secured just in case Kane's men do show up.
You heard the man. Let's get this place secured.
Logan, are you good to go? That was a nasty hit you took when we crashed.
It's just a scrape, sir. I'm fine. Really?
All right, you at least check out some of the other wrecking sites. We need ammo and supplies. Turok, I want us off this goddamn planet ASAP.
What about Kane?
Forget Kane. We're in survival mode. I need you to search the surrounding area for the ship's long-range comms so we can call in an extraction.
I'm on it.
Alright, and that rounds out part 1. If you guys haven't, definitely check this game out. It's definitely a hidden gem. And if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next part.